Um, Hello, welcome to From the Raj Universe. And this is the podcast where we usually kind of talk about entrepreneurship and the African diaspora. But today we're taking a different approach. So I'm sitting today with some of the German Chancellor Fellows. So they'll just give you an idea in terms of their projects apart from the project that I'm currently working on. So I'm going to give the floor to you ladies, and you're going to introduce yourself and just tell the people what work on.
Yeah, okay. Hello everyone, my name is Bria Savoy. I come from the USA and I am a social emotional learning instructor. So I'm here in Berlin, Germany as a German Chancellor Fellow, where I am doing a research project which focuses on using the arts as a healing tool and social emotional learning as a tool to dismantle in-school discrimination and uplift adolescents' identity development. So yeah, it's pretty much what I do and who I am.
Oh, I know you haven't started, but you can just give them a rough idea of like what you're going to be on.
Hi, I'm Aditi Saxena. I'm a German Chancellor Fellow from India. I have not officially started my fellowship yet. I'm going to start till June. That is because I'm still finishing my master's at London School of Economics in Masters of Public Policy. As far as my fellowship is concerned, I will be in Berlin, and I'm a lawyer by training, so my research is around how do you ensure effective access to remedy in the cases of business-related human rights violations, which span across an extensive supply chain and are most likely going to be transnational grievance redressal mechanisms. And this is the perfect time for me to begin this research because Germany has had Supply Chain Act, which has been passed and implemented from 2023 January, and now the scope is being expanded. EU Parliament has very recently passed its directive on the most relevant and similar issue. So yes, this is something that will begin from any country and will reach another country as far as the supply chain is extended. And my host organization is European Center for Constitutional and Human Rights, Berlin.
So your experience so far in Berlin, how's that been?
Overall experience?
Yeah. Let's give us a rough estimate. You've done it to be like the full-on take of how the experience has been.
I mean, I tell folks every day it's a culture shock. Coming from a different continent, North America, and having to come to Europe and other continents. It's a different culture shock in the most beautiful way as to how do I relate to others, how do people relate with me, how do I view myself, how does society view me, whether it's my nationality, my ethnicity, my race, my language, my personality, all those things tend to be more highlighted as I'm here as a Black American. But other than that, I love the city life of Berlin, the different people, the different diversity of people, the art is good. The art's visual representation of it is really good. I can go down on a rabbit hole with that, but to keep it on the surface level, it's been a good experience.
Yes, and in London, how's the vibes there?
Well, it's been great. London has been fantastic, but I can't wait to be in Berlin. And I think one of the reasons that I'm very much looking forward to be in Berlin is because of its very different character than it is. London has had a very historical character, but it has now developed into a more modern city. Berlin, on the other hand, has been able to maintain its history, maintain its culture, maintain its art. I know you disagree. So,
you think it has?
We have different perspectives. Some think are good, but to continue.
What's your opinion on that?
Just kind of what you were saying with the, because we're on the train, and I was talking about my experience in London, how I didn't want to leave London actually to come to Berlin. I really loved London. I loved that English was the first language. I love that London humor and jokes was the norm. And then when I came back to Berlin and I was on the U-Bahn, one of the security officers who checks the 49 euro ticket, was checking someone's ticket, a group of men, and it was just like chaos and screaming and just yelling. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, like, this is not what I want to go back to, but, I also feel like kind of talk a little bit deeper about just like how I saw a lot more Black people in London than I did in Berlin. And so that feeling of feeling seen and heard and et cetera played a big role in how I view London and how I view Berlin. So
I'm actually very interested to know about, how do you view art as part of the healing process? Mm-hmm. And I know that art has historically been used, and it has been used as a mode of expression for many different things. But like, what was the inspiration of the project actually in general?
Yeah, and not to keep the story long, but because I do want to be personal and real here. So long story short, when I was in middle school in the USA, I was a part of a dance program called Celebrate Children. It no longer exists because of insufficient funds, but it was a phenomenal program. And when I was applying to grad school, my proposal was all about how that program, it wasn't this cheesy, cutesy dance program. I was literally learning social emotional learning, which is how do you express your emotions? How do you identify with your emotions? And how do you regulate your emotions, but using dance as a tool? Like, so in high school, college, and grad school, I started to like look at the different forms of art, dancing, craft making, specifically using recycled materials to make art, as well as just the visual eye painting. And, before I came here, I was thinking of like how, because you have also art therapy. And I think a lot of my, framework kind of comes from that field, art therapy, where art is not just a taboo, I don't know, do whatever cliche and cutesy thing, like art is therapy in a way. And so to give a little bit more details to that question, at the institution that I do my project at, it's called the Die Gelder Villa, and it's an NGO, and it's an education and creative arts center. And so, during the students' holiday or Easter holiday, they came to the villa, and, I had, a group of students for 2 weeks, and the title of our workshop was Natur ist wunderschön, nature is beautiful. And so, during that week, yes, we're making plants and flowers out of recycled materials, but I was asking the kids, like, how does this make you feel when you do this, right? Because they're 6, 7, 8 years old. And so, like, what emotion could you use to identify with this color or with this making? Then this stresses you out. And kind of just going from there, to the nature walk to Victoria Park, which you think, Berlin, Victoria Park was really big. We sat down. I asked them to close their eyes. When you close your eyes, what do you hear? When you open your eyes, what do you see? When you close your eyes, what do you feel? And those, I believe, are the basis to helping a child develop into their identity as a human, as a person, which kind of goes back to this kind of arts relationship development in children. So yeah, answers or give clarity.
Yeah, big answer.
Let's introduce.
Right, yes. So when you guests, so usually I would do this. I introduce the guests that come in. So since you came in now, maybe you can give us a rundown of who you are and what the organization does. So with the German Chancellor Fellows, and then you can introduce yourself.
And hi, my name is Verena Wolf. I work as a program officer at the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, taking care of my two representing.
Yeah, I think
Take a chair.
the one from E-Phase, it's just so amazing. So it was difficult to get out of that.
Good.
Yeah. And that's it, actually.
No, but maybe you can give a little bit idea of what the German Chancellor Fellowship is and why you guys bring us all here.
Okay.
And let me also throw in a question.
Yeah.
What sort of input do you personally give when selecting German Chancellor Fellows?
Okay. I love that. As you know, every day offers several kind of fellowships, and the German Chancellor Fellowship is one of many fellowships. And we support junior future leaders like you, who are very important for the countries that you live in, and also for Germany, for internationalization, for working together in a globalized world. And that's why we support you. I am not in the department to select you. This is another department. I'm in the department of taking care of you, the networking department. And so when you have been selected, you were handed over to us as your program officers, and we answer your questions, whatever you have. That's all.
Apparently, the guide is the go-to whenever you have problems.
Yeah. Or if you want to do a German language course.
That too. I'm thinking about it. I just want balance. If I can figure out how to balance my time, then yeah, because writing the podcast takes quite a while for me to do the recording, cutting and everything, and then uploading it. Well, I do the marketing and everything myself. So before, I think the first episode took me like 2 weeks to figure out how to write all of those things by myself. And then after doing it, I guess I made 10 episodes now. So it would take me like let's say I have to interview someone today. I could have it finished maybe by 2-3 days, because I have to do cutting, write an article. So yeah, I've gotten quite good at it now. So in terms of finding the time in between.
How many followers do you have?
The thing is, I don't look at it like, to that degree. I just look at it in terms of the reach and the conversation that I'm having, because that was like my main point was to get this conversation between the African continent and the African diaspora that's not in Africa and seeing what they're doing. So when I started the project, I was like, oh, how will I get the conversation going? And if I interview someone, like I speak to them, like, oh, you did something interesting when no one knows your story. So I was like, how do I create a platform where people, not just me, can hear the stories? So that's why I was like, oh, let me work on a podcast, and I will go around whenever I meet interesting individuals. Like, hey, do you want to have a conversation, have a podcast? You can tell your story, where you can give yourself a platform where people can see you. And other people can be like, oh, that's fantastic. What this guy did. Maybe I can just do that too, especially back home in Africa, where people can see other Africans doing certain things, and that would probably inspire people. So that was the idea behind the podcast. So I think the followers, it's a variation of whether I have a TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the blog that I write, YouTube. So there's a variation of people following on all those platforms that I'm not really that fully focused on that. I'm more focused on the reach and the conversation that happening between those multiple platforms. Yeah. So we have someone new that joined us. So Nandini, can you just give an idea of who you are and what your project is about?
Sure. Hello, I guess. I am Nandini Agarwal, the German Chancellor Fellow for India, working on sustainable food systems. And my project is about understanding how the NL, which are the local food policy councils in different cities of Germany, work to create a local food system which kind of strengthens or promotes better food for all. And by better, that could mean more sustainable, organically produced, local, maybe something that also ensures that farmers are paid fairly, or all people across the value chains are paid fairly for the food itself, and how food system itself can be more diverse and inclusive also for social and economically vulnerable sections of the society. A little bit about myself.
Yeah. One enjoyed us. You can come back. I think that would take all of us. And you've been, well, you just came, well, so she recently came back and she kind of escaped the German winter a little bit.
Smart. I'm laughing at it too. I'm still waiting for my company to allow home office in European countries. It's busy working on that to allow it because it's a whole process, especially if you want to do a home office outside of European countries. But that's the next step. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a villa in Montana. And I sleep from the triple winter. That's my plan. It's like a plan.
Yeah. But does it happen a lot? I mean,
Yeah.
do people actually fly out?
Yeah, so basically,
Yeah, it depends on your. Oh, you mean at the German Fellows? I don't know. I don't think it happens a lot because it depends on your job. Normally, you cannot just leave it like that, but the whole world is in constant change.
Yeah.
And I mean, so 2 years ago, nobody would have thought that we would have so much of it.
yeah.
Now it just came along like that. And I think within the next years, a lot of employers will also employ home office in European countries.
I mean, it's already happening across the world. I was very surprised to see how less it's happening in Germany in terms of, working from home.
Yeah.
After COVID, it became quite normal for a lot of us, I think, back home.
Have you already heard about the new term vocation?
Yes. That's what you're working from home.
So, yes, I think that's a really great concept.
Yeah, and there's working markets as well, which is partly due to COVID.
Yeah.
So the few benefits, I guess, that have developed due to COVID was it forced companies to be like, oh, we can't have employees at our workplace anymore. I'll just continue working at producing. So that was kind of the concept that brought on remote work. Well, I think I know a few Germans that work in Cape Town during the summer, or during winter when it's here, and they go to Cape Town and I just chill there. So
that's how you know they impacts us mentally and
yeah. What do you have to feel?
you have to leave. That's how you know it's real cold. It's real gray, dark.
Yeah.
I guess
So if you can afford that in a financial way, you're sure about your pension later on because, well, that's the main reason for me not to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have someone new.
Before that, just shift a little, that's it.
Shift a little.
We need to get Chris into the frame.
Is he in the frame?
Perfect.
Okay, so we're not live, but I'll put up edited and it will be on the website and YouTube and all the other stuff. I'm taking everyone. Then you can watch it. Cool. Then you can share it on your platforms as well. Yeah. So we have another booker will join us. So Chris, floor is yours. Introduce yourself. Tell us what your project's about. If you love Berlin, if you love the winter, are you happy that it's summer century, I guess? Fake spray.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Chris Washnock. I'm a booker from the United States of America. You can't tell from my accent. And I'm based in Berlin, but my host institute is actually in Western Germany in Bochum. So I split my time between the two cities. So I've gotten to know two very different parts of Germany and love Berlin, love Bochum as well. I do.
I choose one, which is best.
Choose one. I couldn't possibly.
What's that going on? This is very interesting. What do you like about
it? I keep hearing about how Berlin had to reinvent itself. The fall of all, of course, when the city was reunited. It was in some ways a Wild West, and I think that seeing this with my host institute, which is a very large university in Bochum, that this former industrial region, the Ruhrgebiet, 5 million people, which is more people than Berlin, is also in the process of reinventing itself. And the university, as my host institute, is part of a network of post-industrial cities Europe. So having that perspective, what does it mean to reinvent not only your economy, but your society, your politics, I think to some degree too, after all of that is really interesting. So yeah, I mean, it gets me into my project, which is understanding politics religion. Right? In Germany, you all heard my pitch 10,000 times. Never did. So we're focusing on the way that religious leaders, groups, and institutions are managing the rise of far-right and nationalist groups in Germany, and comparing that discourse and that those approaches with what's being done or not being done in the U.S. We don't have the two. They're not quite established, but the two sort of prominent historical notions, the same way that Germany has them set up, the evangelical or the Protestant and the Catholic confessions. So I think you're seeing religious leaders in Germany who are very much experts and sort of historically that very well respected in the communities that have been very robust lose their influence. I think that the church has also fallen victim to this anti-institution, anti-elite sort of messaging. So in that way, I do look at religion through the lens of, religion is a social or a political phenomenon. Not to reduce it to just that, like as a religious person myself, I have my beliefs, but, looking at that organization. So I'm great at entertaining a conversation. Politics, religion. A former life, I worked for a church that had a large philanthropic fund, so politics, religion, and money. So, perfect. Yeah, it's a beautiful conversation.
So that's generally everyone. I don't know if other people are going to come. Maybe there could be more episodes of other bookers later. So yeah, that's it from us.
Bye.
And that's it. And then I will do the editing and stuff. Can I ask the questions before we talk?
Yeah. Okay.
So I sent him the questions and he was like, I think maybe like 10 questions. You're like, oh, we can't talk about this at all. Yeah. So
podcast formations.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah. It's like you have the couch one, it's a coffee tea, you have so you have the chill vibe. So
we talk about censorship in China and all, and when you go to public departments, like government departments, they are also very, very sensitive.
Yeah, someone from the JSF was like, oh, I can't do any recorded. You guys are just going to introduce yourselves, give it a brief notion of like what you're doing, your projects, and whether or not you're loving the German experience, you love the weather or not, the winter. Now, how you survive the winter more precisely, because it's about survival. You can't just live through the winter. So, kicks off, it's off. Introduce you.
Okay, do you want to start?
Please.
So I'm Priscila Rios. I come from Brazil. I am researching now legal technologies or legal techs. It's the nickname in Brazil, Germany. Try to understand what is the innovation strategies in Germany and in Brazil and try to communicate them. I'm in Germany actually before the scholarship to start. I was studying German, so I'm crazy, so I started already learning German for some time. I think the winter is not the best thing I've ever lived in Brazil. We really don't have snow or dark days, and you really need to adapt yourself a bit. But beautiful days starts to come with spring and summer, and I'm looking forward for those sunny days.
Interesting. My name is Ashutosh. You guys know it, maybe they don't. You who is watching. My project, I have a foreign policy background, so foreign policy and some sort of military backgrounds. I work on how do we enhance India and Germany's diplomatic relations better. Although through the 6 months, the project is still left on some initial stages where it has gotten more into the idea of developing the notion of India better with all aspects, not just the positives of it, but like more practical international aspects of how do the Europeans view India and how to make it more, broaden their understanding a little more, which is very much limited to 2 or 3 things. So that has been the primary focus of my time here now on in the project. which has allowed me to engage with a lot many people, which has been fun. On winter, I think for me, the survival part was 3 months of language course.
Right.
And to which our dear host would agree as well. And maybe somebody else, but I don't think so. Winters were, I'm a bit of an outlier on that when I say I love the winters. I actually don't enjoy the light after 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's great. No.
Yes.
I really enjoy the winters. And the sad part is that maybe when the next winter arrives, not sure if we'll be around or not.
Who knows? It's so.
I mean, around and there when you're not.
Yeah,
To be few.
we won't be finito.
Finito. If we don't do another couple of months of the language wars.
Yeah. No, to a degree, like being in Bonn was fun. It's a quaint city. Our city's been doing it a lot of justice.
It was it. I mean, it's executives.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is a city. It's more suburban than anything else. You have to go to Cologne if you want to have fun, I guess.
You will only hobby.
It seems a bit depend on your profile or your style. Like I really like both. Yeah, for me, it was like an amazing, beautiful, cute city in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I always lived in Dortmund. Dortmund doesn't have a river or, like I was feeling like I had oppressed with the river. I could drive bicycle and explore a bit of the nature. Like I thought Bonn was, I have a beautiful memory of those days in the summer. Maybe I wouldn't live here forever. I will be bored at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, when I remember, it seems so. I feel like a child. I was a child, just Deutsch course.
It was an experience of it's almost like back to school sort of an experience.
Yeah. What was it?
As a student, I didn't need to worry even to buy toilet paper. Everything was provided.
I could go to classes at 9:30.
Yeah.
I also go late. Like some people used to.
No detention.
No yeah.
I made friends. I made
I
friends.
think that was the key aspect, right?
Yeah, I made friends from other cultures because I was mentioned advanced, but I was not unfortunately with the books, but somehow I have a friend now from Jordan. Like we are planning to go to Jordan.
It's
Cool.
Yeah.
Like who in Brazil I would have the chance to meet people from Jordan.
I think the board experience was more important in terms of like the cohort that we have right now. We got a chance to know each other for whatever our pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
But we still got a chance to know each other of who all are they there cohort with. Because once you moved out, you do get that chance to interact. And now we are almost nearing the end in a way. After this conference, we're only meeting for like one
year. That's in July.
In June and July.
Yeah.
And that will be the last time when we all meet together. So I think those 3 months is where we sort of base upon our understanding of each other. So quite a good 3 months. Better than the language was supposed to be.
Mm. It's definitely the company that makes you feel more welcome than anything else.
I like how once you move it to like the second side of 20s and early 30s, you become a little more philosophical about people. Just company and nature.
Yeah, because you feel more like, because when you're like early 20s, you're like, we need to have fun with party. But then you get to like maybe less than 25 and you...
Not 25.
Not 25? 27. I guess 27.
After that. Late 20s.
I'm excited for the next 6 months. I'm going to have some challenges. Yeah, we still have 6 months of research. I think I accomplished quite good results with my project. So I think I'm forcing myself to put less pressure on the project and also enjoy the experience in Germany.
It's quite fun. It's getting more fun now. So it's going to be quite fun. And the Euros is here. So we're ready to party.
Just someone said that in the early 20s you used to party and not be ready to party.
What do you mean? You can party at any time, but there's no
party.
Exactly. So you need companions. Then we have a group.
More than your cast schedule, you want someone to take you over after the party.
Yeah, definitely. Someone either carry you over. If you're too gone, was watching this podcast, I was listening to this podcast the other day, and this guy was talking about how this other guy was so wasted at the bar that he had to take a stretcher to kind of carry him out. He was gone.
Okay.
So
What is it?
it's just like they talk about movie reviews and all that stuff, so it's more chill.
It's like the other way around of your podcast, from growth to garage.
Yeah. So, like, you need people in that instance where you're like wasted and like, you're feeling your friends will be there to kind of carry you, like, or ambulance to come and take you. Thank
Thank you very much.
you.